friends, it's Alexa from Alexa Loves Books, and today I am finally going to be sharing 25 bookish facts about me. I was actually tagged to do this by my friend Kristen over at Super Space Chick, but it took me a while because I had to think about all these facts, and finally I have gotten to 25. So without further ado, we are about to get started. And these are in no particular order. Number 1. My mom gave me the first 2 Harry Potter books for Christmas, and I promptly shut them in a drawer and forgot about them for a couple of months before I finally took them out and read them. Yes, I am ashamed to admit this. No, I do not know why I put it in the drawer or what I thought of it and why I put it away and didn't want to read it right away considering I was such a bookworm, but there you have it. Thankfully, I remedied my own mistake and am now a full-blown Potterhead. Number 2. One of the memories I have from the first time I tried to read The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien was that I actually fell asleep when they were recounting the history of Middle-earth. I don't know why, but I remember vividly sitting on a sofa, trying to read it, and falling dead asleep. Number 3. When I was little, I had the habit of reading books under the table at mealtime because we weren't technically allowed to do that. And there was this one time that my mom was so fed up that she threatened to throw the book I was currently reading in the trash. She would never have done it, by the way, but she was saying it to scare me and it worked. So I stopped reading under the table. Number 4. My grandfather used to take all of us grandkids to the bookstore and he would let us buy a lot of books. I don't even remember if there was a monetary limit or a numerical limit. I just know that we were allowed to buy as many books as our little hearts desired, and we didn't really think past a certain number. We just had to stay within his limits, so that was always fun. Number 5. My husband proposed to me in a bookstore, and I have a proposal story for you guys, and it will be linked down below, but basically it was a total surprise and it was perfect. Number 6. When I was a toddler, my parents used to take turns reading Dr. Seuss books to me. When I got old enough to recognize what they were reading, I would know if they skipped pages because they tried to, because I wanted to read like a whole stack at, you know, bedtime, and I was delaying my bedtime. And I would know if they'd skipped a page, and I would be like, no, we have to start over again because you skipped a page. Yeah, I was a very demanding child. Number 7. I mostly spend my time reading during my commutes in the morning and in the evening, and that's usually about an hour or so one way. And that means I average about 80 to 100 pages one way and then another 80 to 100 pages the other way, which is how I read a lot of books even though I have a lot of other things going on. Number 8. So I'm a little obsessed with fandom merchandise now, especially bookish fandoms. Oh my gosh, I literally just want to buy everything and it's horrible. It basically resulted in stuff like this. I have so much Harry Potter merchandise, it's ridiculous, and I can't stop myself from wanting more. Number 9. I have the habit of wanting to reorganize my shelves every other month. I really like mixing it up and I like rearranging the things on it constantly because it's both therapeutic for me and because I just like making it look different every month. Number 10. Another thing I do is I cull monthly. I let go of so many books, both on my TBR and both on my TBR and ones that I read, because I simply want to curate my collection so that it reflects my personal taste. Let it go, you guys. That is my philosophy. Other people might want to read those books, or your library might benefit from those books, so that is what I do with my books, in case you were wondering. Number 11. Every single audiobook that I have ever listened to in full is a reread. I've listened to the Throne of Glass series, and I've been listening to the Harry Potter series. The only exception is Winter by Marissa Meyer, which I read for the first time via audiobook, and it was amazing. Number 12. When I was a kid, my mom would hide her romance novels from me and my sister, and by hide, they would be on the top shelf. So when I turned 13, or 12 or 13, I don't remember, I found one of them, took it off the shelf. It was The Secret by Julie Garwood, and that started my lifelong obsession with historical romance, especially about Scottish knights. Yes, Mom, I read your romance novel. Number 13, I used to hate having marks on my books or writing in my books, but these days I actually like underlining the lines that I want to remember, and I also like annotating my books. I think it's so fun and so convenient to be able to go back to the stuff I liked in the books. Number 14, I am a series binger. I binge series, which I'm sure a lot of you do, but I also like to binge read series, more than one series, back to back. It's just, I can't even explain it. I'm gonna link to the post where I talked about it, which was from a while back, but it still holds true till today. Number 15, I very rarely cry when I am reading a book. I will get emotional and I will feel for the characters, but I rarely start crying. 1+1 by Jojo Moyes is the last book that I remember actually full on sobbing for. And two popular titles that I never cried over were Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wynne and The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Number 16. I used to find it really hard to DNF books, but after I read a certain book, which I shall not name in this video, I just decided it was not worth spending time on books that I was not enjoying, or at least that I didn't find at least one element compelling, and so I've become really good at setting down books that I'm not liking. Number 17. I moved to the Philippines when I was a kid, and I wasn't really familiar with the national language, Tagalog, so that got me excused from a lot of the Filipino classes. And during those classes, instead of listening to whatever I should be listening to or studying for something else, I would just read books in class, and it was amazing. Number 18. When I was in elementary school, everyone referred to me as Belle because I was the classmate that was always walking everywhere with her nose stuck in a book. I literally have heard one of my best friends tell me that she remembers me walking through a field of my classmates, and they were all playing tag, and they were all playing running around, and I was just there walking with my nose in a book, oblivious to the world. Number 19. We had this reading activity thing. It was called SRA, and you basically had to read a story, answer a bunch of questions, and then you could move up levels. Whenever I tested for it, I was always either on the second to the highest or the highest level, and I would complete it within 2 days of starting it. So I would have a lot of free time and get to do whatever I want. And what did I do? Read more books. Yep, I was clearly an obsessed reader. Number 20. One of my best friends and I, and this best friend is actually in New York with me, which is awesome. We actually became best friends because of Harry Potter in the 6th grade, and our friendship has stayed strong ever since. Number 21. When I was a kid, I would often get in trouble for reading by the light of my nightlight. It wasn't bright enough, but I would strain my eyes and try to read it, which probably explains why I have to wear contacts and glasses now. Number 22. I actually read Romeo and Juliet for fun. We never were required to read any sort of classical lit in the Philippines for English class, but I somehow managed to get my hands on a copy of Romeo and Juliet as a play, and I read it and I fell in love with it, and then I started reading other Shakespeare stuff. And I was really young. I think I was 11 or 12 when I first started reading it, so I think a lot of it went over my head. I've reread a couple of times since then. Number 23. I'm generally a wide reader, but my favorite genres are fantasy, contemporary, and historical fiction. Number 24. I struggle with the beginnings of books. Sometimes I have to read the first line or the first paragraph over and over, maybe 4 or 5 times until I finally sink into the book and keep on going. And number 25. This is not really bookish, but it's sort of bookish related because it's about writing. I do want to write a book someday. I don't know if it's one I don't know if publishing matters to me. I just want to write a complete story. But also, one of the things I used to do and how I got into writing is because I started writing fan fiction. So there you have it, guys. Those are 25 random, really random bookish facts about me. I hope you enjoyed this video and getting to know me more, and maybe I'll do another edition of this if I can think of more facts someday. Alright guys, till next time, bye!